This is the Lockpicker 1969, and welcome to my channel. And welcome to today's episode of an interview with a lockpicker. And today's guest is KixPicks. Say hello, KixPicks.
Hello, guys. I'm so happy to be here today.
So, can you tell us a little bit about how you got into lockpicking?
Okay, to make the story short, I got into lockpicking when I was sitting at my father's store, and a friend of him was there, and I told him, what do you do? He told me that he can pick locks. So I was a kid back then, so I grabbed a lock from our store, and I gave it to him. He picked it. He picked what's it called? Paper clip from the desk, and he picked the lock. From that time, I got intrigued by the idea, and I thought that it's not just in movies, and I got interested in lock picking. And then I've seen Bosnian Bill on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
it started. Yeah.
yeah. So, when did you make the transition from doing lock picking into making picks? Because your picks are pretty well known out there. Whether I'm not sure you realize that or not, but they're very well spoken of. So
I'm very happy to hear that.
So how did you make that transition?
At first, when I started picking locks, when I had self-confidence in that I can pick locks, and I felt that I succeeded in understanding the sport and understanding the type of locks and everything. Then I shifted my attention more on the tools, and I started to make picks, and it took more time, and it made me spend more time in making picks than picking locks.
Okay. So you mentioned before when we spoke privately about getting into making them because it was difficult to get them.
Yes, definitely. The reason why I started making lock picks was that I was, it's very funny, but I was scared to break my picks. So I decided that I have to make my own picks in case if I broke one of my picks. I can use the picks that I make, and I know how to make more. And maybe people will not understand this. I can explain more. Where I live, I don't live in the States, so I can't just go walk to a store and buy picks or order them online. For me, the shipping for the picks to come from the States is very expensive. I pay double the price in the customs when it come here, and there always the risk of things get lost, or the customs will stop it and tell me, what is this? And I have to
and you have to go
the
down there
airport and explain. Yeah, and that this is lock picks and I use it for this, so they give me the approval and I take it. So it was very hectic, and it was very expensive to have the picks, so I need a motive. I had a motive just to start to find replacements and alternatives.
So what was your first pick set you bought when you first got into lockpicking then?
Yeah, the black Chinese ones that's found on the internet. The one
The Amazon specials?
yeah, no, I think the ones that they used to, I'm not sure they still sell them or no, but they have like a metal handle, and they painted black, and it was very bad. I didn't use it. I used the rake once, and they stopped using them.
So what did
And
you go to?
I moved to another set, Chinese also, the ones the one very famous on Amazon that comes with the transparent locks,
Yeah.
and it actually helped me a lot. A lot of people say avoid this set, but I don't think so, because if this set will make you know if you are interested in lock picking or not, and instead of going and spending a lot of money on picks, this set will show you the locks, the transparent locks, will show you the pins, and will show you different types of of picks. Yes, most of them are useless, but you have a hook, you have a rake. You start to understand what's going on, and from there you will know what you want to buy,
Yeah.
what other sets you can buy.
So, would you say you have a favorite lock or lock brand that you like picking when you do pick?
Uh, if you're talking about security or safety, I mean security or fun. For me, the fun lock
Fun.
that I
Yeah.
love to pick, there's American lock 1100. This is it's very nice. I think it's very nice to hold it and to pick it and take it with you and repin it. It's one of my favorite locks. Yes,
Okay,
the
cool.
American lock 1100.
So, when you first were getting into making picks, who would you say was your biggest influence and why?
Okay, there are three or four people that are really, really, really good in making picks, and I really love all their work. And for me, they are the best pick makers in the world. But at that time, I only knew Ratty Oak. I've seen his work, and I was intrigued by his finish and his designs because I think the guy's artistic. Uh, he's an artist and he do artistic stuff and not just the designs. His the designs and the finish and the it's very practical. His picks are well made. And yes, I always looked at his picks and I thought I want to do something like this. And I think all pick makers will relate to what I'm saying.
Okay, you mentioned when we spoke before this interview about Joe Picks. Can you speak to that?
Yeah. Um. By the way, I just want to say something about Raddy Oak. I was in contact with him and he was talking to me, and after that we became close, and he helped me a little bit, and that will move us to Joe because I was talking about Joe and his first pick that he made, and how I sent him. I remember the first time we were talking, I sent him a pick, and then I sent him a pick without the handle, and I told him, Joe, I want you to put the do it yourself, and I was trying to help him to understand how this work, and then he showed me the results, and I told him, man, this is awesome. You are talented. You can start making picks. You did the pick. You made a perfect job just putting this together, and this is your first time, and he's a very talented guy. He started to make picks, and he developed very fast. And at the beginning, I was trying to help him, like do this and try to use this kind of metal. You can buy it from this place, this kind of sanding. But he's very talented. That he developed very fast, and he's making amazing stuff. And I'm very happy to see this his picks. And I was telling you about his first pick. He made an amazing picks, but till now in all his videos, you'll find him putting his first pick because it's always the special pick that you make, and you're always proud of your work.
Yeah. Okay. So you had mentioned to me some special projects you're working on right now that aren't exactly lockpick related per se, but can you speak to that at all regarding your shop and?
Yeah. Okay. So at before lockpicking, I used to DJ, I used to dive, I used to hunt, I used to do all those stuff. But when I went to lockpicking, I started to pick locks and make locks. And when I started to make locks, I started to have a relationship with the wood. So I built a workshop, have all wood equipment, and right now my one of my passions is to work with wood. And I was just doing a review about the a famous table saw, but in a different channel, not mine. Uh, I was so happy that when you work with the wood, you work with something organic. You can make a box. You can make tools made out of wood. So yeah, woodwork is became a passion right now. So I took a break from making picks, just to develop my skills in the wood. So when I return back and making picks, I can make things better, things
Yeah,
with more details,
I would
better
imagine it
finish.
comes in handy with handles
Yes, 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 sir.
and working with the different kinds of woods and finishes as well. Can you talk a little bit about your design process when you're making picks? You know, exactly how you design and do that kind of work?
At the beginning, I had no idea. I just wanted to make something that looked nice. I don't understand what is the design. Either we're talking about the design of the handle or the profile itself.
The profiles, yeah.
Yeah, profile itself. So my first design was I wanted to make something that suits me because I I purchased a lot of brands, a lot of different picks, but I always was looking for something that make lock picking easier for me, how I can get it open faster. So I started to get a pick, look at it, and start to draw. That I want this thinner, I want this thicker, I want to be short, I want it to be long. And from here, I start to make my first pick. And then I was speaking with Christina Palmer. She was helping me a lot. She's one of the people who helped me to choosing, understanding the metal and the material to use. She told me she was very angry at me at some point that how you want to make picks and you don't understand how to design or how to use the computer and design and use AutoCAD and softwares like this. So I challenged myself to go and learn by myself, and I started drawing designs and start making picks. And few of the lock picking makers or like companies that produce mass production picks were interested in my designs.
Cool.
So I was very happy that I achieved this.
Now, you mentioned something about you've got something you're working on with sparrows.
Yes, till now the project is not done, but what I hopefully when this project is done, I'll be very happy because I'll be achieving something. Not that Asparagus is doing my picks, but the real achievement is I can make my experience in picks and how to make a better pick available for everyone. You don't have to go purchase an expensive custom pick to have a convenient handle, a longer handle, a better profiles, or let's not say better, a different profiles or something that I recommend to be available for the public. And when I was working or when we were talking at the beginning with the sparrows, I told them I can give you everything for free uh, to give it to the people with a good price. But it must come in a way that I want it. I want it to be you have the feeling of the custom pick just in a commercial pick. And if this project is still ongoing, but I hopefully when it's done, I will be bragging about it to everyone because I'll be happy for people to have something like this.
Okay, so let me ask you this. When you're making picks, is there a particular profile you enjoy making over others, or is it pretty just universal?
Um, for me, my favorite profiles, number one was the KixPicks. This is why I made it and then named it after me, and it became somehow famous because uh, it's this profile. I think I made it for many locks, but mainly the American 1100 because the gap between the gap in, as people call it, the monkey paw, the gap between this
Yeah,
part is the same size as the pin, so you can feel better, have a better feel. You
can
can
lock right on that pin.
yeah, exactly. And of course I like a short and a medium and a half diamond, one of my favorite. If I'm talking about two profiles, a half diamond is I really like half diamonds because you can rake and you can pick, and you it's you have a better feedback somehow, but you cannot use it in all locks. But it always, for me, give me a better feedback.
So one, I got a couple, maybe one or two final questions. I wanted to ask you if there was any funny or unusual moments you can remember that you'd like to share in lock picking or in your lock pick making.
Um, I can't think there's something funny, but I remember once when I was doing Panda Frog, he have this club of divers that can pick underwater,
Okay.
and I yeah was picking a lock while and diving underwater. We were like 18 meters depth, and we were like group. I wasn't diving alone. We're not allowed to dive alone here. You must have a partner. So we were like three or four, and different countries, all of us, and I always just tell them I'm gonna pick a lock underwater, and we were picking, and the guy was shooting. There was a huge fish behind me, and he was so scared, and people around me were moving. It was a normal fish, but it was we were recording, and it was a bit, it was a bit funny because you're sitting in the middle of the of the sea, and you're picking a lock, which is weird for all of them. They don't understand it, and there's like huge fish and there's sharks in this area. So yeah, the people reaction was funny when I was picking a lock underwater.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Well, those are all the questions that I had for you for this. Is there anything you'd like to share with our audience before I wrap up?
If anything, I want to tell the people or the audience about the lock picks and about the lock pick brands. I can say there is no perfect brand or a perfect company. I think each and everyone have his own preferences,
Yeah.
and he can stay with his preferences for a long time, and suddenly he can change into 1 second when he finds something different. So you can you can try different brands, and of course, I advise you to start to make your own picks. It's not for everyone for sure, but if you are into crafting or if you have extra time and you want to get busy, um, it's a lot of fun, especially when you make something that if you know how and you make something that it will be very useful for you because you're designing your own pick that will help you. This is how what started everything for me was making my own pick just for myself.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate your taking the time to do this interview. Very,
So
very
happy to be
enlightening.
here, and I'm glad that you invited me to this interview.
I, I, I was glad to have you. We had a great conversation before this as well. It was very good to get to know you. So, in wrapping this up, for my subscribers and our audience, if you haven't done so already, please remember to hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications all so that you can be notified when new content like this comes out. And I want to thank everybody that tuned in to listen to this interview. If you'd like to say goodbye, Kix, then
Yeah, thank you guys, and see you guys around.
take care.